God story. And the last one I was telling you, it's all about the Daryls. How God saved the one man through our venue event. Okay, so a year goes by, and all of a sudden God gives us another place to hold this venue event. Okay, we got 3 weeks and we have $10 from the last time. We made a checking account and everything. We had started a 501c nonprofit organization thing. Because we planned, we thought it's going to happen all the time, this is good. And something I forgot to tell you at the last video was when we were trying to find a stage, table, and chairs, we all figured, we went to different churches and stuff. We thought, we'll go ask one of the churches if we can just borrow their stuff. And this was important because God screams, no. He didn't want any church to take credit for this. This was totally Holy Spirit driven. I mean, these were like Jesus parties, and he did not want anybody else, which to take credit, which made me definitely realize God is not religious, and he's not a denomination, and that's all from man. That's all man related, and so I'm pretty much just a Jesus follower, not a denomination. He just says go to a Bible-based church, so I do. And I always pray for everybody to know him more, personally. So that's kind of what this is all about. So now, venue 2. We get a place, again, 3 weeks. It's in the fall, just like the last time. Maybe there's a pattern here. I paint venue on the outside of this window. It's a different place. Happens to be downtown in the bar district. Thinking, all right, now we're going to affect more people that are not Christians. More people are going to be saved. Everything was done out of prayer. Every single thing. We'd pray. We'd all pray. We all got a different part to play in the whole thing. God always gave me more paintings to do. And art, which I would do pretty much about a week before because we only had 3 weeks. So everything was just cranking out really fast. We're totally busy up until the event and then pretty much collapsed after each event. But so the second one, and we did a total of 4, so I might just get the stories combined. It's hard to remember always. But on the second one, I knew I'd have that table again. I knew I would probably have kids. And I'd start, again, showing them how to listen to the Lord and create. He's a creator. He wants us to create with him in whichever way you've been gifted. And if it's in writing, it might be writing with him. If it's in making things, it might be making things with him. If it's in creating art, it might be creating art. I mean, he made you for a reason. So this time, I wanted to give stuff away. So I brought the idea to the team. They're like cool with it. So I went and collected, because the reason I said that is because I was blessed one time. I'd been at this outdoor folk art type of thing. And there was somebody who had a booth there. I was face painting at a booth, and there was another booth. This guy was a painter, and all he painted was angels. And it ended up, he had cancer and he was saved, and he'd witnessed apparently a lot of angels, and he had rocks that he'd painted with different words from the Bible, and one was grace. And I knew through all this, I'd been saved by grace. And one time I'd even heard a song about grace in my head that wasn't for me. So I knew it was all about grace. God's grace. And I got that rock. And I love that rock. It seems kind of crazy to think, out of everything in the world, a cool car or this or that. I loved that rock because it symbolized the grace God had given me. But it was still a thing, so it wasn't the actual grace. It was just the idea of his grace. So I and my family went to like a rock quarry, and river rocks are nice and smooth. And this rock that I had was nice and smooth, and we collected rocks, which seemed like an easy task. But to find the right rocks that you could maybe put in your pocket that were smooth, not so easy. So we had like a bunch of us finding these rocks. Then they're dirty and full of stuff, and it was freezing because it was fall, trying to wash these rocks, and then they have to dry them. Then I have to paint them. Again, finding the right paint, the right brushes. Then I had to seal them with some sealer, and the sealer I was using wasn't working. And anyways, it was a process just to paint these rocks to give away. And then we had like this little, in our yard, we have like a little well. And God gave me all these ideas. I mean, the well, come to the well. And we have this little like crafty well outside covering up some sewer thing. I bring the well, we fill it with rocks. On all the tables, we have all these rocks. And it was, everybody take one. Give them away, whatever. Whatever one you grab is the one God wanted you to have. There are no coincidences. You know, we're letting people know this. You know, everything was like to lead them to know the Lord more. That night was so fun. We had Christian comedians, you know, the art. How do you get enough Christian art? And they were different artists in 3 weeks. We'd always put out like a radio thing. Stuff wouldn't come. And we think this is going to be a failure, a bomb. We're not even going to have art. And it's an art gallery show. And it would come. It would come 1 week, a couple days before, and it would just boom. It would show up. God provided every time. Okay, money. Now money. How do we deal with money? I, through my school, had heard of a grant for $5,000 that people could apply for. And it was actually gambling money. Look what God can do. Not really much of a writer, and didn't know how to write grants very well. Anyways, God woke me up one morning, and this was actually earlier in the summer, and we hadn't even planned a venue. And he had me write the grant. Gave me all the words I needed to know. I want you guys to know, when he wants something done, he can, if you're willing to listen and just let him use you as a vessel and just do what he says, you know, I guess that's obeying, but it always seems to benefit you. I mean, and for me, it was just, I wanted everybody to know him, you know, as many people. I figured, you know, it's better to give than receive, and he's given me so much. I felt like, you know, he gave me gifts, so I wanted to share them. You know, I know he wants everybody to know him. So, anyways, he gave me all the words to write that grant, and I just hung on to the grant until we had the next venue, and submitted the grant when we knew we were going to have one. Now, this might be the third venue for that one. But it always happened the same way. We always had 3 weeks. We always had a little bit of money from the last venue. He never wanted us to keep any money. We're supposed to spend all the money. God is lavish. He loves us. He already owns all the money. It's, you know, he owns everything. It's his. He created it. You know, we didn't have to feel guilty about spending money he was giving us. So the head gal had already fundraised, and she got like $2,500. She already got all the, you know, food stuff we needed, everything like that. The grant hadn't come, the grant hadn't come, the grant hadn't come. Well, God had shown me a t-shirt. In my head, I'm also a graphic designer. He showed me a t-shirt, and it had a hanger, a white hanger on it. It was a black shirt, and underneath the hanger it said, "Hanging out with God." I created the t-shirt on my software. All of a sudden, we get approved for the money, but we didn't need it, which said, give it away. So I asked the team, I said, could I go get these t-shirts? And we just give them away. And since there was nothing else to spend the money on, and we're starting to learn, if you, just like the manna, if you save thinking you won't have enough, when the God of everything can give you more, it's just going to get destroyed and it's not going to be fruitful. So everybody's like, yeah, go ahead, go do the t-shirts. If you can get them done in time. By now, I have 3 days before the venue. Okay. So sure enough, we got them done and we were able to give away, I don't know, like 300 shirts. It was just incredible and fun to give stuff away. Super fun. And that night we also had Teen Challenge come. They kind of save people who have alcohol and drug problems. And they sing. And as they came through the door, they got bussed in. They're from the cities and we live about an hour and a half away from them. And as they came through the door, I remember feeling the presence of warrior angels, one on either side of each of those people who had recovered and gotten to know Jesus. And they were being absolutely protected. And it chilled me. And I just sat there looking up and I couldn't see them, but I could feel them. And I was in awe at the presence of God surrounding these people. Anyways, there's more to tell and I'm going to cut this one off. Okay. See you in the next video.